Welcome to Geography Nuts. In this channel, we learn about the countries around the world, one country at a time. Today, we are going to explore Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. Are you ready to explore this wonderful country? Saint Vincent and the Grenadines is a multi-island nation in the Windward island chain in the southern part of Lesser Antilles archipelago in eastern Caribbean Sea. It is situated southwest of St. Lucia, west of Barbados, and northeast of Grenada. It is divided into 6 parishes for administrative purposes. 5 of them are located in the main island Saint Vincent, and the Grenadine Islands join to make the 6th parish. The capital, the largest city, the most populous city, and the main port is Kingstown, not Kingston, that's Jamaica's capital, Kingstown. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines flag is called the Gems. The green diamonds make V for Saint Vincent. 3 of them reference the plural nature of the country, as the country is made up of many islands. The diamonds, the gems, represent Saint Vincent and Grenadine as the gems of the Antilles. As for the colors, blue represents the sky and the sea, yellow stands for warmth, bright spirit of the people, and the golden sands of the beach. The green represents the lush green vegetation and enduring vitality of the people. This is the coat of arms. The center of the crust features 2 women in classical Roman clothing. The woman on the left stands holding olive branch, and the one on the right holds scales of justice and kneels in front of a gold altar, symbolizing peace and justice. The cotton flowers above the crust symbolizes the former cash crop. At the bottom of the crust, on a ribbon, the national motto, peace and justice, shown in Latin.
Geography.
Territories of the Saint Vincent and the Grenadines include one main island called Saint Vincent and 2/3 of the Grenadine Islands that are located south of the main island Saint Vincent. Total land area is about 389 square kilometers. Saint Vincent is 344 square kilometers. All 32 Grenadine Islands and Keys covers about 45 square kilometers. Only 8 Grenadine Islands are inhabited, while the others are not. Now let's look at the smaller islands. First, let's look at Young Island. It is a volcanic rock about 180 meters from Saint Vincent, but geographically, it is part of the Grenadine archipelago. It is privately owned and has about 29 cottages. Bacuya is the second largest Grenadine islands and home to over 5,000 people and popular among cruising yachts. It is one of the few places in the world whaling is still allowed. Natives are allowed to catch up to 4 humpback whales per year using traditional hunting methods of hand-thrown harpoons, but most of them don't do them anymore. Mustique is a small private island owned by Mustique Company, has about permanent population of 500 people, but during the peak season, the population almost triples. Canavan is another small island home to about 1,700 people. The island has some resorts and a decent sized jet port. Mayro is the smallest inhabited island in the Grenadines, population about 270. Union Island, it has a population about 3,000 people and an airport to serve the regional air. Palm Island is a resort island, used to be known as Prune Island. Former owners of the island planted hundreds of coconut palms, transformed the deserted, swampy, and mosquito-infested island into a palm-covered paradise. Petit Saint Vincent. This is the last of the 8 inhabited Grenadine Islands and the southernmost point of the Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. This island is privately owned and operated as a resort. Now let's get back to the main island, Saint Vincent. It's also a volcanic island, mostly mountainous with very little level ground. Most of the mountains are covered in forest. There are few small rivers that drain from the mountain slopes. Coastline on each side of the island varies significantly. The windward or the Atlantic side is very rocky, while the Caribbean or the leeward side is beautiful with many sand beaches. Highest peak is Mount Soufriere. It's located in the northern part of the island. It last erupted in April 2021 and it has erupted 5 times. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines enjoy tropical climate, hot and humid all year around, with a relatively cool and dry season from January to mid-April due to northeast trade winds. Between June to December is another story. It is a bit of a hot, humid and rainy season. Saint Vincent get a lot of rain, about 2000 millimeters. On the contrary, the Grenadines are drier. In fact, you can even spot some cacti in some areas. Even when it's rain, it's usually a downpour, short, intense downpour or thunderstorm. The greatest danger comes from tropical storms and hurricane. It passes through the island between June and November. Saint Vincent and Grenadines are located in the southernmost part of the hurricane belt, so it happens rarely. Saint Vincent was first inhabited by Siboneyes, then Arawak moved in and kicked Siboneyes out, and around 800 AD, Caribs finally came into the island and established villages and called the island Hairuna. It was believed that Columbus landed on Saint Vincent on his third voyage in January 22, 1498 and named the island Saint Vincent. But it is proven incorrect as Columbus was in Spain during that time. As it stands now, nobody knows which European first saw the island. Spanish conquistors largely ignored Saint Vincent and Grenadine Islands, and they focused more on the gold and silver found in Central and South America. In the early 16th century, African slaves escaped from St. Lucia or Grenada and sought refuge in Saint Vincent and intermarried with Caribs and became known as the Black Caribs, now known as the Garifuna people. British were the first to lay claim on Saint Vincent in 1627, but Caribs fought off any settlements until 18th century. French from Martinique were the first European to establish their first colony in 1719. However, following a series of wars and peace treaties, the island was eventually ceded to British in 1763. From 1763 to independence, the islands went through various stages of colonial status under British rule. Friction between the British and the Caribs led to the First Carib War in 1769 over a British attempt to extend colonial settlement into Black Caribs territories. Caribs successfully defended the windward side of the island, but British commissioners launched a full-scale military assault in 1772. But the political opposition in London prompted an inquiry and ended the war. As the military matters stood stalemate, a peace agreement was signed in 1773 that delineated boundaries between British and Caribs areas of the island. A representative assembly was authorized by the British in 1776 only for the European colonies. France captured Saint Vincent in 1779 during the American War of Independence, while British were busy fighting the Americans. But it was restored to Britain by the Treaty of Versailles in 1783. The Second Carib War started in 1795 by the Caribs with the support of France, and Caribs successfully gained control of most of the island except for the area around Kingstown. British eventually crushed the Caribs in 1797 and captured more than 5,000 Black Caribs and deported them to Balassos, one of the islands in Grenadine archipelago, where half of them died in concentration camp and the remaining People were then taken to the island Roatán off the coast of Honduras, where they later became known as the Garifuna people. British used African slaves to work in plantation of sugar, coffee, indigo, tobacco, cotton, and cocoa. Decades after the successful Haitian Revolution, the British abolished slavery in 1834. Without the slaves, profit declined. So many European landowners abandoned the estates and left the land to be cultivated by liberated slaves. This resulted in labor shortage and attracted Portuguese immigrants in the 1840s and East Indians in the 1860s as laborers. It was hard for both the new immigrants and the former slaves, as the sugar prices kept the economy stagnant until turn of the 20th century. A crown colony was established in 1877, then a legislative council was created in 1925. During this period, British government made several unsuccessful attempts to affiliate Saint Vincent with other windward islands in order to govern the whole region under one administration. Finally, in 1979, Saint Vincent and the Grenadines gained full independence from Britain while remaining a member of the Commonwealth. It is the last windward island country to gain independence on October 27, 1979.
People and culture.
People of Saint Vincent and the Grenadines call themselves Vincentian or Vince for short. Population is about 120,000. About 110,000 live in the Saint Vincent Island, and the remaining population of 10,000 live in the Grenadines Islands. On Saint Vincent, most of the population live in the southern 2/3 of the island because of the volcano occupies the northern third of the island. The capital, Kingstown, and the suburb has a population of about 25,000. The second largest town is St. George. Its population is about 1,700. Most Vincentians live in smaller villages with a population of less than 500. The country's history is reflected on its ethnic composition. 66% of them are African descent, 19% of them are mixed descents, 6% East Indian, 4% European, mainly Portuguese, 2% of them are island Caribs, and the remaining 3% are people from around the world, mostly Chinese. As far as the religion goes, there is no surprise. Most of them are Christians, 82%, while 9% of the population is non-religious and 9% of them follow other religions. English is the official language used in education, government, religion, and other formal situation. Most Vincentians speak Vincentian Creole at home and among friends. Vincentians' culture and lifestyle is strongly linked to the sea and the boats, more than the other Caribbean countries. It is probably because they have so many small islands closer together. Cricket, rugby, and football are popular among men, whereas basketball, volleyball, and tennis are popular among women. Music is very popular in Vinci's culture, like many other Caribbean countries. Big drum, calypso, soca, steel pan, and reggae are very popular. Vincimas is one of the hottest 12-day festival in July and is packed with lots of music, historically meaningful activities and shows, as well as cultural parades. One other great thing about Saint Vincent and the Grenadines Islands are the food. Most of the food is sourced locally. Breadfruit is a staple. Fried jackfish and roasted breadfruit are national dish. An annual breadfruit festival features many breadfruit-based food. Arrowroot flour is one of the most versatile flour used in many recipes, including biscuits, cakes, jellies, bread, sauces, and so on.
Economy.
Saint Vincent and the Grenadines is a lower middle income country. The GDP is about 1.4 billion, one of the smallest in the Caribbean. GDP per capita is pretty decent at $12,800. Economies heavily depend on agriculture. More than half of the labor force work in banana plantation and 50% of the export is banana. Saint Vincent and the Grenadines is world leading producer of arrowroot and it grows other exotic fruits and vegetables as well. Tourism is growing and has a considerable potential for future development. Pirates of the Caribbean was filmed in the island and it has helped expose the country to potential investors and visitors. Key export partners are Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, Chile, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, and Antigua and Barbuda. Import partners are Singapore, Trinidad and Tobago, United States, China, and the EU. The country also have small manufacturing and offshore banking sector, but it's very small. This is it for Saint Vincent and the Grenadines. Hope you learned something new and interesting about this country. If you are from Saint Vincent and the Grenadines, I would love to hear from you. Please make sure to put a comment. The next country I'm going to do is Barbados. In the meantime, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.